I think last week was the 1 year of us going into official national emergency here in the United
Oh,
States,
yeah.
and how much more we needed community. If it couldn't be in person, even virtual communities. I think that's what kept a lot of us alive. That's how it kept me sane,
I
was
agree.
even
Me
having
too.
virtual
Yeah.
communities. Welcome to the WazaMedia Podcast. Thanks for coming back to the show. My name is JR. I am the CEO of this company, and I've got a special guest, someone that I haven't seen in about 13 years. I know I've been bringing up guests that are old friends of mine, but they're doing great things, and I'm happy to have them on. I'm really excited. But before we bring our guests on the show, I want to talk to you quickly about Morning Brew. And if you're busy like me, you want to look up at the news and just catch up on everything, got to check out Morning Brew. It's an easy email digest that comes about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it just brushes everything up from the last 24 hours. You've heard me talk about it on the podcast, so I'm not going to go any more about it. But if you want to sign up, it's totally free. It's waza.media/morning brew. Once again, if you want to be up to date on news every day, go to waza.media/morning brew for your free chance to sign up on it. No cost. It's 0.99. It's free. So I'm super excited to bring Chris.
What's going
Chris,
on,
it's
man?
really good to see you on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been so long. It's
Oh my
ridiculous.
goodness. 13 years. Can you believe it? 13 years.
Yeah. All this internet power, and we haven't really, we've barely seen each other in 13 years. But yeah, that's been great knowing that, like, how well you've been doing too. That's awesome.
We
Like
were
last time I saw you, you were just on the verge of getting ready to do stuff, and then yeah.
that was a long time ago. And for our listening audience, Chris and I had a great time in our banter session before coming on the podcast, and just catching up on and family and in school, because we go back as early as shoot elementary school, right?
Elementary school, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Dang, that's a long
Yeah.
time ago.
I I don't know, like, I don't even know how it started. I don't know if it was just like a Filipino thing or who knows, but I mean, yeah, it goes all the way. I can't remember a time in my life when I didn't know you. If that helps clarify to people how long we've known each other, yeah.
Yeah, because we're only a couple years apart. We were in elementary school, and we went to high school together.
Right, right. We both went to our unnative high schools, like for the Doctors Academy. Yeah,
So for
it
our,
was
our,
great.
our audience, Doctors Academy is a pipeline program funded by University of California, San Francisco. Their goal was to bring exposure to high school kids about the medical field. In its entirety wasn't to at first when I thought about it, Chris, I thought it was they were trying to get people in the medical field and then come back to the Central Valley of California. But I've been participating in some of their alumni stuff, and they're just really trying to set people up for success. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
medicine. So it made me feel good because I'm out of medicine. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's a relief.
yeah. They again, we're not gonna go too long on Doctors Academy, but it did play a big part in both of our lives. So I mean, it's yeah, it's cool that we both got in, and man, I think we might have lost contact with each other had we not both gotten in. So I mean, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you also still have our families. We have families that live near each other in the same
Right, right.
neighborhood. So we may have still kept contact if we didn't have this California State program that brought us together all the way from elementary school to high school.
Yeah, yeah, but it definitely. I mean, like I said, it played a big part in our lives. But like, look at how much it like 100% impacted your life. Like, just the way it steered where you went. Right? Who knows where you'd be? Yeah, right now. But I mean, so you got to give it to them for that. You got to, yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for Doctors Academy. That's definitely a plug for Doctors Academy right there.
Yeah.
So the
Uh,
The big thing about bringing Chris on the show is that Chris is an artist. He's a really great artist, and he does a lot of great things there. But I'll let him tell the audience a little bit more about that. But the biggest reason why I brought him on the show because I want to talk to him about community, how he's able to how he's built his community, how he's maintaining it, and how he's growing it through a couple different platforms. So Chris, the big thing with WazaMedia and with our guests is that WazaMedia believes in the power of storytelling, and we'd like to give you a chance to tell a little bit about your story.
Well, like I mentioned, the Doctors Academy played a huge part in like a lot of people that we know, the direction that their lives went. My post high school life was not particularly great. I, I it was ultimately immaturity and just didn't know what to do. And I had worked manual labor all the way till I was 25. I had done ins and out things, and I think Jake knows about some of that stuff. Uh, but when I was working my manual labor job, I just woke up one day and I said, I just don't want to do this anymore. But I didn't really have anywhere else to go. So I stewed on that for a bit. I drew something, and I used to doodle in like elementary school, and I posted it on YouTube. Um, just it was some Yu-Gi-Oh. It was Yu-Gi-Oh related stuff, and the Yu-Gi-Oh community actually liked it, and I would get small commissions, like very small, like $50 commissions. And at the time, I was just like, whatever, this is just things to do on the side. And ultimately, I just started taking more and more to the point where it was making more money than me, like if I stayed at my other job. So I just went all in on that. And all eventually I went to an anime convention. I don't know if JQ, I don't know if you remember the local card shop that we had, TVN. Do you remember that?
I do.
Okay.
Thor was the
Thor,
owner.
yeah. He actually runs an anime convention locally now. Um,
No way.
yeah, he started the first Central Valley anime convention, and I was playing pretty hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh at the time to just keep my mind off of life and stuff. And he asked me to go there and just check it out because there was an artist there. His name was Hyper Booster. I saw what he was selling, and Thor was just telling me about it. So Thor actually had a huge impact on my career as well. And basically, this guy, this Hyper Booster, would travel to conventions almost every weekend. So he was flying everywhere almost every weekend, just selling his artwork, and that's what he did for a living. And I was like, that's way better than working on cars. So I took what he did. Took a few years. I reverse engineered basically uh, everything that he did. I went to Anime Expo, which is the biggest anime convention on the West Coast. I went there. My friends went there to go have fun. I went there with a notebook, and for 4 days, I was just writing stuff down. So I just took what everyone was doing, reverse engineered it, because it was kind of like a do or die moment in my life where I was like, I'm not good at a lot of things, but I think like drawing has always been something that I was probably kind of good at. And eventually, from 2014 up until lockdown, uh, conventions became my full-time gig. I was traveling a lot, like 3 4 weekends a month. I was flying somewhere, and there's only a couple states I haven't visited yet. And I was set to go to like Sydney, and I had been to Dusseldorf. I was set to go to Singapore, and I was going to start going internationally, and then you know COVID said no. So what that did, while I was traveling, I created a YouTube series called Artist Alley Vlog. It started out as just me recording myself, and this is where most like where the big stuff happened. I recorded myself at the conventions, and then I started talking about how much tables cost, what sells, what's not selling, how you should act at your table, and just little pieces of advice that I was kind of saying just for me. But when people started discovering it, they started kind of getting attached to what I was saying. And I know firsthand people who took what I had in my videos, my vlogs, which by the end of the series was 83 episodes on YouTube, and they took exactly what I said, started doing conventions full time, and now it's their job. So that makes me feel really good. It was a very unintentional thing, but I mean, I'm glad it helped people. And
One thing
honestly,
about
that's like
one thing about your vlog about Artist Alley, because I was following it for a couple of years. I
okay.
liked how you documented it, because
Yes.
no one was doing what you were doing. They weren't talking about the ins and outs of actually being setting up your booth,
Hmm.
and because I like numbers, I'm a logistics nerd. So when you started talking about the cost per table, setting up all your backdrops, and then some of the things about printing. No one,
Yeah.
the average convention goer doesn't think about what goes beyond, what goes in the background for every artist that goes in. So I actually enjoyed the behind the scenes part. That was one of my favorite parts of
And
watching your vlogs.
that is the part that people connected with the most. And once I found out that it was helping people, I actually started to put more effort into making sure I included that stuff. And I had other artists telling me not to do that because it was like giving out, like our gold kind of stuff. But I always knew that conventions weren't my end game, so I didn't really care. I was just like, I remember the first few shows that I went to, I lost money. And I was like, I don't want other people to have to go through this. And I'm not going to stick around doing these cons forever. So why do I care? So I just started giving out information. Now made some, developed some people who didn't like me along the way because of that. But I mean, I think it was once I got the sense, because I honestly had never really done anything for other people for most of my life, and I didn't realize how good it felt. And I was just like, wow, I don't want people to have to go through this again, or to go through like what I went through. So, that's kind of how I built my current standing community, because once the conventions went away, a lot of those people following those videos just followed me on what I do full time now, which is Twitch. And they just hopped right over. And it's really, really helped the Twitch channel. And it's just like, where would I be if I wasn't kind of giving to people, starting unintentionally, but ultimately just, you know, but yeah, and that's, kind of where I am now with all the conventions being shut down because of COVID laws. And you know uh you have to find your own way. And Twitch is great because now I can, when I, as an artist traveling, well, I guess anyone who's doing any craft, you need time to practice. And when you're at the conventions, you're more just talking among each other about making money. And I lost a lot of practice time. But now I could just do art studies on Twitch with people who want to learn. So now it's another way for me to give back, but also a chance for me to learn. So it's like everyone wins all around, and it's been amazing. And I would rather do this than conventions. So that's kind of where I'm at now. Just doing that every day. It's great.
I want to bring up your YouTube channel because there's a couple significant things on your YouTube channel. The the some of the your most notable videos, as far as as number of views.
Mm.
I knew about the Pokemon video
Right.
where your Pokemon collage,
Yes.
so I knew about that. And the one I didn't know about was the Disney Princess one.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's an old one. Yeah.
That one had, so memory serves me right, your Disney Princess speed drawing video has 8 million
Right.
views, and your how many does your Pokemon one have?
Um,
I forgot.
there's two Pokemon. I think one of them has like 400,000. The other one has like maybe 2 million, maybe three, but it's something like that. Yeah, it's not quite where the Disney Princess one is. Um, but yeah, my idea behind uh the artwork, because it's hard to sell your artwork at conventions. Like there's just everything's so oversaturated. So I had talked to somebody who said you have to make something that's so ridiculous that somebody's going to buy it. And this was back in like 2015. So my thought process was, I love Pokemon. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a piece with literally every Pokemon in it. The initial drawing, because they added more Pokemon later. The initial drawing was 120 work hours, which I live streamed on YouTube. But then I took that footage and made it into a time lapse. And that one piece of all the Pokemon carried me over, or sales wise carried me for a lot of conventions as I was learning, because that was like in 2015. But yeah, that's where that came from. I just needed to make something that was so ridiculous that you know nobody was willing to do it.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure And I'm sure, and I saw this in your Artist Alley vlogs, is that that's how people recognized you
Yeah,
and recognized your
yeah,
work. Because when you have that copy of that collage, whether it's the Rick and Morty, the Street Fighter versus Capcom, or the Pokemon one, that they see that and you have it in large
yeah,
print and you have it on your at your vendor table, they go, I know that.
yeah.
I've seen it somewhere.
Yeah, you see a lot of artists at these conventions, and they have these walls, and there's like 50, 100 different prints. I go to a convention with 5 different prints in 3 different sizes. So I essentially only have 15 products, and I'll make more money than most artists with all this, with like just walls and walls of I don't want to say nonsense, but like I want to say more generic stuff. Yeah. So yeah, there's fun story. I don't know if this is a tangent, but just a story that is really meaningful to me, because the Zack Snyder Justice League movie just came out. I have he started off. I remember he used to comment on my YouTube channel a lot. I don't know what he was doing before. He used to be Navy, but then he was doing something after that. And he wanted to become an artist. He wanted to sell at conventions. So he asked me for advice. Basically told him what that guy had told me about just make something that you know nobody's willing to do. So I don't know how many hours he spent on like this Justice League drawing. So he basically took the concept he basically did the same thing that I did. He entered it was a drawing of all the Zack Snyder characters, and he entered that drawing into the Justice League, the official Justice League art competition, and he won, and it allowed him to fly out, and he was on set when Jared Leto shot. Like he got to meet Zack Snyder and his wife and give him like gifts, and he was there. He got to be there when they shot stuff with like Jared Leto and Ben Affleck, and it was really amazing. And then he just came back to me and he told me, he was just like, "Yo, because he before he entered it, he was doing conventions and stuff." But yeah, but the point was he contacted me back and said that it was like my advice that helped him get there, and that just means so much to me. So it's just like, well, when you contacted me and you said you wanted to talk about like community, and it's so strange how I used to be very self-centered, and like I got a taste of what it's like to help people, and now I'm just like, this is better. It's just better, isn't it? Like, yeah. Anyway, it's
And
totally
now that we're
unreal.
talking, and now that was it last week of the date of filming this podcast? I think last week was the 1 year of us going into official national emergency here in the United
Oh,
States,
yeah.
and how much more we needed community. If it couldn't be in person, even virtual communities. I think that's what kept a lot of us alive. That's how it kept me sane,
I
was
agree.
even
Me
having
too.
virtual
Yeah.
communities. So while we're on, I think that's a perfect segue, Chris, into going to our main topic about communities. And the first thing I want to ask is, what is a community to you? How, in your own words, how would you define it? And then leading on to that is, how have you found your community? But I'd like to hear your definition of what a community is first.
I used to think it was like-minded people just talking to each other, but I've now uh, absorbed and assimilated so many different artists into our community, that's like, I think as long as you have a similar goal, I think if we all have the similar goal, which is to be professional artists and to make money or to get better at the craft, something along those lines, and we're all close to the same thing, I think that's what makes a community. I think if you have too much of the same uh, method, or single, like you can't have a single mind going in, because then you guys don't really learn anything, and we have so many opposing ideas, but the goal is the same. And I think that's what makes at least my community pretty cool, because we can all pretty much disagree on everything except except the ultimate goal, and that's pretty cool. And I mean, I just accumulated people through like the YouTube series, and people I've met at conventions, because a lot of people will come by and they'll ask advice about being an artist and selling. And usually, if I can't answer them directly there, which I always try to do, I push them to the YouTube channel. And I always, when at the conventions, I always try to make time to talk to people, because I told you back when I went to Anime Expo for the first time, and I went with my notebook for 4 days, I would try to ask artists questions, and they just never gave me the time of day. And I remember how that felt too. Like it really, I was just, because at the time, I didn't really know what I was going to do with my life. So when they said I'm too busy, I was just like, I get it, but I mean, that sucks. So that's one thing I make a point to do when somebody comes by the table, to always make time to talk to them. And I do that on Twitch now. If somebody asks a question, how do you draw hands? I'll just do a quick diagram. Like, yeah, just watch that over and over and over. And yeah, and I find you give a little bit, and they'll just, that's how I built my community,
So you
very
learn
slowly,
what
but yeah.
not to do from the people that kind of were kind of jerks to you at these conventions, because
Yeah, yeah.
you were there to learn, and you were intrigued, but it didn't sound like the community, when you were trying to be more involved, wasn't receptive to that.
Yeah, they weren't. But I mean, the conventions are business. You're there to make money. You spent so much time and effort to make this artwork, and then you invested money into the print and traveling and all this stuff. Of course, you want to make your money back. But I mean, like, isn't there a line though? How many tens of thousands of dollars you have to make before you're just kind of like, I can give this kid a little bit of time, And I mean, now there's people making Artist Alley vlogs, but I'm just gonna say there weren't any before I started. So yeah, but no, so yeah, I mean, it's strange. Like, it's strange. I don't want to say strange, but like, now that I look back on it, a lot of the way I treat fellow artists now, especially, like, tons of understanding, and I really try to empathize with people, because I know how hard it is to get started. I'm just like, God, if I could take that feeling away from somebody who's lost, because I know what that's like. And I'm just like, if I could just take that away from someone, even just one person, yeah. I think that's what has people coming over to our community.
And you've built your community from in person to the virtual world, and definitely have grown it into different channels, of course, in the last year, having grown from not only uh, the typical social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, but you're now live streaming. You mentioned earlier about that. I was actually checking out your live stream this morning. I've actually been on your live streams, plenty of them,
Yeah.
and I enjoy it. I don't have a Twitch account. I'm more the behind the scenes. Let me just lurk. I'm the lurker,
Okay.
because that's part of understanding how some of these platforms work, and working with clients and stuff. But
I was
I
gonna
do
say,
have
you
to
must find that
ask.
fascinating, because you see so many different. Some people are just explosions and rainbows and unicorns flying at the screen, and there's like mine. I broadcast it at uh, 239 aspect ratio, and it's like just solid, just clean. Yeah, that must be interesting for you to see all the different, like, the
uh,
different types of streamers, and like the energy levels, and just.
the interesting part is seeing growth of channels from about 5 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, or a little bit further, versus the last 2 years. Because Twitch before is different from Twitch now. And grow, and there's we're not going to go into the issues of Twitch or anything. We're going to stay on community stuff, but it is interesting to see how everyone is growing their channel. But I do have to ask, how is your pants doing with the red ink that fell in?
Oh, the ones I'm wearing right now.
Oh,
It's
you
fine.
are.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So far for our audience, go check out Chris's Twitch. Chris is gonna plug his channels at the end of this episode. But during the live part, Chris was refilling his ink pens, and one of them was with red ink, and there's a small
It couldn't have been the
mishap.
brown pen. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, I dropped the pen, and this was the only time, because normally, I'm not gonna lie, when I stream, I wear a button-up shirt, but I'm usually in like shorts, like whatever, because you can't see the bottom half. I'm wearing pants right now, but I tried double streaming Instagram and Twitch today, so I was like, and then the way the angle was, I had to wear pants, so it's like, okay, just this one time, and this is the time I dropped my ink. So of course, that's just how it works, right?
That's what you get for trying something new.
I know. How dare I? Just, if it's not broken, or if it's not broke, don't fix it. Yeah.
So
That's
Chris,
funny that it's funny you're in the stream for that particular moment.
it was the right time. I'm like,
There
oh,
you go.
there was drama happening on Chris's stream. What will happen to the pants next? We will find out in the next episode. Going going on about continuing our conversation about community with Chris. You talked about the different types of people that are and the different things that are in your community, not just having one mindset, but I think there is value added by having different mindsets together and different perspectives on certain
Absolutely.
things. So knowing that my understanding of the community, I'm in your Discord. I follow you on YouTube. Uh, I occasionally drop in on your Twitch live streams and watch you drop ink on your pants.
Right.
But from what I gathered, that a lot of it is related to art because that is your passion.
Mhm.
And then I see the interactions between you and your community on Twitch and also in the Discord. So, what do you see as an important part of maintaining a relationship with your community, especially now that we're pretty much virtual, and every one day we'll get back to normalcy, but right now this is what we have.
The new normal. The new
Yeah.
normal. Yeah. Um, I think I think I'm just honest with people. Like um a lot of artists like to act like they draw every day, and I try my best to draw every day, but I don't. And if I don't, I just tell them. If I don't know, if they ask me advice about something, I don't know how to do it, I just say I don't know how to do it. Or better, like we like to do, is we'll go look it up and we kind of learn together, because that's good for me too. Or sometimes somebody in the chat knows. So, I've actually learned so much on Twitch because of other artists, because I've been so open about certain things I don't know. And I think I swear on my channel, and a lot of people don't do that. And I just I'm just I feel like I'm too I don't want to say old, because I'm not old. I think I'm too tired to put on a show for people. And I hear it a lot where people, they appreciate it when they come into the stream. Like I said, my stream layout is very plain. I just have my face cam in the corner, very pretty widescreen shot. It's widescreen because I put artificial bars, because I have like I can't get the camera to sit right, so I have all this extra stuff, like mess. I sat there for like 2 days, like, how do I make this look clean? Oh, I know. There we go, black bars. So, very simple. Another thing is, we work in traditional art, and a majority of artists on Twitch are digital artists. So it brings people in. We study. Uh, Studying is, I think, traditional and studying art is the biggest thing, because I'm not working on some like really sexy pinup commission digitally and just like screaming at the camera and stuff. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not me. And if I tried to do that, that'd be dishonest. And I think people could pick up on that. And I know a lot of people on Twitch, I know them in real life at conventions. Cons got canceled and they moved over to Twitch, and they're doing certain things. Like, you're not like that. I know you're not like that. And I guarantee other people can see through that too. So I think just like transparency has been the biggest, like, thing that keeps people coming in. You know, I, we're all tired. We're all tired. Well, and I know playing the social media game, especially being on YouTube for so long. There's a game you want to play if you want to increase those numbers. And the whole, like with TikTok, there's a real game you got to play on TikTok to grow on there. But I, it's just don't think it's for me the proper way for me, the honest way for me. And I think people pick up on that, and I think that's what it is. Yeah.
So your streaming platform, you stream several times a week, usually for a couple hours, and usually around 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's
Yep.
12 p.m. my time here on the East Coast.
There's
So,
an interesting reason why I choose 9 a.m.
oh,
Uh,
go more.
something about when I went over to I've had two conventions. I've showcased my artwork twice over in Europe, and boy, they are very receptive to I had a little QR code with my social info in it. Here in the US, nobody's gonna pull out their phone. Everyone's on their phone over there, or it felt like it. And I had huge reception, and so a majority of my viewers are actually based like Europe side. So I stream at 9 a.m. Because that's where most of my people are, most of my viewers, and there's not a lot of art competition, especially here in California. Everyone's on at like 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's the prime time. I avoid that, and I get to be at the prime time because 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is around the prime time over there. That's where I get my time from. Yeah.
That's super
People, oh yeah,
strategic.
a
I
lot,
like it.
a lot of my friends, my artist friends, here in the U.S., they'll stream in the California prime time, and I'm like, are you insane? You know how many people are streaming right now? Like nobody's ever gonna find you. So, yeah, that's
So
where that weird 9 a.m. time comes from.
So where do you see that? Do you feel that most of your, I'm sure you're running the analytics. You see most of your audience when you stream, are they mostly in Europe, or do you have some
Uh,
stateside numbers that you see?
there's a lot of stateside, because like that 9 a.m. No, like not a lot of other artists are streaming at the time, so I automatically just get whoever's just browsing. Yeah.
That's awesome. And just finding your niche audience and just capturing it. Or why don't you just flip it and just try something crazy? Kind of like, and I think that the whole try something different that's audacious and remarkable, kind of like with some of like your collages, and then bringing that same strategy over to Twitch. I think that's pretty cool.
Well, speaking of audacious, the way I was able to figure that out was we would do 24. Well, like when I first started doing Twitch, we were doing a lot of 24-hour streams, a lot of
Mm.
them, and I would kind of keep an eye on when the counter was highest, and it was once we got back into the morning time, and I was trying to figure out what was going on, and eventually we just came to the conclusion that it was a lot of European viewers. Then, so I just stuck to that. We are actually, you saw I have a new digital art setup. Yeah,
I
amazing.
like it.
I've been working on a 2013 pre-built computer up until last week. So I bought myself a like brand new drawing tablet, and I'm running like 3 giant monitors, and it's amazing. So I'm actually we're actually planning to do 2 streams a day, a traditional art study stream in the morning, and then just a fun digital stream in the evening. So yeah, well that's what the current schedule is going to be once I catch up on everything. But yeah, so streaming, that's where uh, all the timing comes from. It's very precise. Like it's just, but it was a lot of trial and error to figure those numbers out. That's
Especially
like what you
with,
do for a living, though, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what it's. We run numbers, we look at patterns, and we find ways of disruption. Finding ways of disruption in order to grab attention. So I know this term has always been out. It has been. I feel like it's been overused, but underpriced attention is another big thing. Is how can you get more eyes to look at what you're looking at? That's that hasn't been touched or has been undervalued, and leveraging it and exploiting it to your advantage. That's some of the things that we do at WazaMedia.
Okay.
So we're gonna put that little plug in there. So that's awesome. You got a new computer. You mentioned 2013. My MacBook Pro that I'm actually running right now is from
Yeah.
2013. So it's 8 years old. I'm due for an upgrade. I'm planning on when these new MacBook, I think it's the M2 or whatever the new chip. I think that's when
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna
new
make the
hard
switch.
drives. Yeah, yeah. You know, I would hold off. And we're not trying to get into computer talk right now, but like with the shortage of like metal and everything that's going on, my computer
Yep.
was at least like 2.5 times what it should have cost. And any computer you buy now is going to be ridiculous. Especially, when lockdown happened, everyone wanted to be a Twitch streamer, everyone wanted to be an online star. So I
All the
think you could run
webcams
that
were
computer a
gone. All the
little longer.
capture
Oh, you
cards.
remember that?
All the capture cards were gone. I had a Camlink that I bought in 2017. Hadn't used it because I was doing YouTube videos just straight from my camera, and then using the SD card and uploading it there. Now I do it straight to the computer via my Camlink. So it cuts a couple extra steps. This is more
Yeah.
nerd talk, gear talk, but for our audience. But yeah, I had one, and I remember they were price gouging Camlinks for like 200, 300, 400 bucks because
Yeah.
everyone wanted it. And
I
now, as you
believe
mentioned, there's a shortage of microchips and electronics. Yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, I believe like Logitech cameras like that were supposed to be like $80 we're going for what 250 at the peak last year. Yeah, graphics cards are still like 2 3 times. So I would hold off on it. I think stream's looking good. I think I'll hold off on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and probably not due for an upgrade on the camera stuff, but
Yeah.
I am facing some hardware limitations. I do have one, two, three. I have I had four monitors going on my MacBook Pro, but now it's down to three. I was using a USB to HDMI
Yeah.
in order to power an extra monitor that I needed to do to like monitor chat and stuff, but it
Yeah.
just bogged down. It was laggy, and so I just cut it. I'm like, let me just buy a bigger screen. So I've got a 27-inch right here. You're on my teleprompter, and then
Yeah.
I've got the MacBook screen right here. So I'm only running with three. It's not optimal for me. I need more screens.
Yeah, I have a my drawing tablet, which counts as one of the screens, is 24-inch, but then my monitors, which are both running at was the 3200, are 32 inches. So I'm just like, oh, versus the 222s I was running on the old setup. But yeah,
I
uh,
am debating whether I need to break the bank and get a 49.
run just
49
140.
inch curved wide screen monitor and just go for broke. I'm debating it.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go anyway, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you wait long enough, and then you go do it, and just get the right thing once, and then you're good.
Because then if you keep incrementally increasing just like minimal size and minor upgrades, then it just doesn't become worth it.
Yeah,
Totally
it becomes
agree.
more expensive in the long run. But yeah, yeah. So new computers, I'd hold off on it. Or if you go do it, go all in. That's pretty much all it is right now.
Going back to our topic about
I
community,
know.
so we talked a little about Twitch, which was great because we talked about we didn't. I don't know if we want to. Oh, this brings up a good point. Should we talk about discoverability for Twitch and how you did brought up and how some of your audience came from YouTube
Yes, yes.
into Twitch? Because that's for those who are not familiar with Twitch. Twitch has an issue. Oh crap! We just talked about not having to go into issues with Twitch. I got to bring this up
Well, I
though.
mean, we don't need all those weird political issues that Twitch is having, but on the technical
No.
stuff, we should talk about that stuff. Discoverability, that's important. So
Yeah. So discoverability on Twitch is almost non-existent because of how the platform is working out. Because we talked a little bit about competition. When you're going on Twitch, you look at streams that are happening in real time, and so there's thousands and thousands and thousands of Twitch streams going on at once. So it's kind of hard to figure out which one should I watch, unless you're subscribed and you get alerts. But you can't really find new streams. And so one strategy, and I think it's worked out for you, Chris, is that having a presence on another platform in order to get that capture that audience and then bring them over to another platform. It's similar to what happened to Vine when everyone was big on Vine. Vine shut down. They just started back up onto Instagram or another platform, and their people came over. And
yep.
so they were running multiple channels, and just like how people are doing TikTok videos and reposting them on Instagram,
Oh yeah, because we have the reels now.
which is also presents another issue because now there's an issue with Instagram blocking because the TikTok watermark is
Yeah.
now on your is starting to become identified by the Instagram algorithm, so they're now
Oh
decreasing reach. So that's a whole nother issue.
my God.
Um, so now there's apps out
FYI,
there that
everyone, I'm not good
remove.
at this stuff. Yeah.
So now there's apps that remove that let you save your TikTok video without the TikTok watermark. I'm not advocating for it. This is news. This is what people are doing out there. I'm not advocating for any of this. but this is how people are getting around it. And then they're able to upload it as if it was an organic video onto IG Reels, and they're not getting flagged, or their reach is not being diminished by the platform. It's working
Yeah,
these algorithms.
see, all this algorithm. I used to be so obsessed with it. Back during the when I was full time. Well, when I was doing conventions and full time YouTube, I was so obsessed with it. And then I just got to the point where I was like, because I use copyright music in my YouTube videos, which basically makes your searching like non-existent. And it got to this point where I was just like, do I want to play the game so that I can get like a couple of bucks for and some reach with these videos that are very very niche anyway, or do I just want to make them the way I want? Like certain music that I put in it is to convey certain feelings, and that was like a choice I made, and I think I that goes back to the whole thing about just kind of being honest, where it's just like I did that stuff on YouTube and I got the right feeling for the videos, which I think helped engage people with like my story. And when they came over to Twitch, they get the feel of what I'm doing there. It's the promise of just we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna draw. I'm not gonna ask anything of you guys. I never ask anything of my people. I never tell them to sub. I never do anything. They do just because they want to. But I don't run the a little tip jar at the bottom. I don't do any of that stuff. I know you're supposed to. So back to what you're saying about algorithms. I'm not good at any of this stuff, guys. Like I'm not good at any of this. I just and I've tried. I've definitely tried, and it just impeded with my enjoyment of it. And I sometimes I'm like, if I don't enjoy what I do, then I may as well just go back to doing manual labor because at least that's a guaranteed paycheck, right? So yeah, algorithms are no bueno. No,
Algorithms, the almighty algorithm. We talked about a lot about Twitch. We talked a lot about YouTube, but I want to continue the conversation about Discord. You
Hmm,
have your
right.
community on Twitch, where you have an interaction there. But tell me about the interaction that you have that pretty much goes 24/7. I'm getting
Yeah,
alerts all the time.
it's nonstop. Discord is nonstop. Um, I I was hesitant to hop on another social media, but my friend he normally doesn't push me to do certain things, but he pushed me to get on that, and I'm glad he did because I realized it's a very very personal place. Um, so I try to keep my channels to a minimum, what you have on there, like the different sections on there to a minimum. And if one doesn't have a lot of activity on it, I just delete it. I feel like having too many channels, it gets a little too crazy to manage both for me and for people. Like they see too many, because I know when I go into a Discord server, when there's a bunch of channels, I just clock out. I'm like, this is too much shenanigans going on.
The
So I
photography
make it,
channel, really, I'm glad you added the photography channel recently.
yeah,
That's been
yeah.
my favorite one.
Well, people were clamoring for it. They were just like, "Where do I put photos?" I was like, "I guess it go in your art because because it is art." I'm like, but then it's gonna get mixed. So I try to listen to what they want, and then I put stuff in there based on that. And I've had things that I thought would be good that I've removed. So I put the channels based on things people both on YouTube, especially on Twitch, have told me they wanted. So I do cater it to them, so that if they have what they want, then they'll just keep talking amongst each other. But it's been amazing because they'll post up their artwork and then I could just immediately tell them stuff about it, whether I could just praise them for or if they want to critique. Yeah, we do little critiques on people's artwork too, which I mean, like once a Discord server gets to a certain amount of people, then it becomes unmanageable, and that's why a lot of like bigger personalities are not active in their Discord. It's just their official Discord. So I actually enjoy the semi-small community we have right now because I can talk, I could respond, I could hit the reply button and just comment right back to them. Yeah. And you don't have to wait for a stream to start. You don't have to wait for somebody to upload a video or a new post. You don't have to hope that they see your DM on Instagram, which gets buried. It's just right there. It's right there. That Discord is super powerful, and I didn't realize it until I started getting into it.
So you have the Discord that runs 24/7, and then you have another interaction, a live stream, and then you have with Twitch, where you do art studies, and then you have YouTube for a different type of
Right.
content. So you've got multiple different ways to interact with your community. And but out of all the ones, which one do you feel is the one that you enjoy interacting with your community the most?
Twitch. It would be Twitch. A lot of Discord is just continuations of discussions that we had on Twitch. But Twitch is me in my element, sitting, drawing, and I've done 151 conventions as an artist. 151 in was it? Well, I guess if you count 2020, in 6 years. Otherwise, 5.5. And I've really developed the people skills, the talking, which I'm sure like it's just so auto to me, but I'm sure it helps me on Twitch. So I'm in my element where I'm talking to people like I'm used to do at my old job, and then I'm drawing, which is my real job, and they're just it's new people coming in, and that's my favorite. That's my favorite. And then from there, I could always start the conversation that gets followed on Discord. So Twitch is my absolute favorite. You can't hide. You can't hide. A bad artist can't hide being bad on Twitch. If you're good, then you're going to be good. And I think the people in my community are specifically they're other artists. 99% of the other people in my community are other artists, and that's why we resonate with each other, because we're just trying to get better. And we recognize when people care about the craft and when they don't, and they know that I do. So I think that's why we get along so well on Twitch.
Chris, we've talked about your community, what community belongs to, what it means to you. We've talked about your community through physical in-person interactions. We talked about some of the platforms with Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. The next question I want to ask you is if you could roll back time
Mm.
and you could start building your community again, which one of these platforms do you think you would start out first? Or right, let's leave it with that. Which ones would you start with
I
first? Which one of these platforms would you start building your community
I
first?
have two answers to that. If I was trying to get big numbers, I would have hopped on Twitch a long time ago. Like that would have been my primary thing a long time ago. Um, that's if I, in hindsight, I was like looking for big numbers. That's where I would. Um, but I actually like it exactly the way it went, because again, those vlogs, and I don't know how many of them you've seen. Some of them get really dark. Some of them just kind of get into my brain quite a bit, because I'm editing them the night of that day. I record, edit it that night, and then the next day I edit that night, and then on the flight home at the airport I'll stick them all together, and it's just it's like an exact reflection of where my mind was at the time, and I think it captured a lot of people, and it's nice for me to go back and look at that too. And I don't think I would ever want to lose all that documentation and all the people I connected through that, because artists, a lot of them are pretty messed up in the head, and we all kind of got along like that. And I don't think the current path right now, I don't think I would change anything, even with how like bumpy the road was leading up to this. I don't think I would want to change any of it, because I'm happy with where it's at right now. So, but numbers, Twitch.
Where do you see yourself taking your community? Do you see it? Where do you see it going to next? Do you see it in growth? Do you see expanding it on a different platform, or are you really looking to going into the new normal, or going to a better normal where we actually get to come back together in person and and just hang out in person?
Larger conventions, when they do come back, and they will. There's too much money involved for those companies to not come back. Like I'm gonna stop doing smaller shows. Like I said, I was doing 3 or 4 a month. I'm gonna stop doing smaller ones. I'll do the big ones where I could interact with people, and like where the big bucks are. But otherwise, I want to stay on Twitch and grow the community there, because one, it's been going really well, and I enjoy it because I get to draw more and I get to interact with artists on a non-financial level, just drawing. But also, I feel like when things go back to old normal, there will be fewer people on Twitch, which means more viewers for me. and I don't have to become the greatest artist. Or right away. I just kind of have to outweigh these people, and that's kind of where the short-term strategy is in terms of growth for like the socials. Otherwise, I don't know. I think we're all just this is I don't know. This is kind of the dream. We're just drawing every day and trying to learn and get better. Beyond that, I don't know, because it took me so long to figure out, because conventions, that was like my life, and I had like talking tens of thousands of dollars and like months of planning and all that locked in, and then when COVID happened, it was all just like swept out from underneath me. So to restructure and go figure this out on Twitch, and just kind of get it stable, it's like been great. And I kind of haven't been thinking about too much farther in advance, other than we're going to really grow once people have to go back to work. that's kind of where we're at right now. Yeah.
So life is good. You're
Yeah.
enjoying it. Your audience is enjoying it, and your community is
Yep.
enjoying it.
So they
And
say.
I think that's the important part, is that you're happy and your community
Yeah.
is happy.
I mean, what else is there, right? Yeah.
Chris, this is just right. We are nearing the end of this awesome podcast. This has been a lot of fun, but I've been really, 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 really waiting to do this. I'm trying a new thing with our
Oh,
guests. It's called
oh, this is
lightning
a new
round.
thing. Okay.
Is a new thing, and you are my guinea
Okay.
pig, Chris. So here I have in this post-it note. I'm taking. I've got 5 things I'm gonna roll at you. It's gonna be one versus another, and then you're gonna
Okay.
pick one of these 2. And then and then for context, just for our audience, we've known each other for a
Okay.
long time.
Oh, great. Okay.
So
I'm ready.
all right. Lightning round with Chris. Here we go. Pokemon versus Yu-Gi-Oh.
Pokemon.
Baking versus air frying.
Air frying.
Justice League versus Avengers.
Avengers.
Twitch versus Discord. We kind of know the answer to that one. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. NFTs versus physical art.
Physical art.
Tell me more about the air frying.
It's just so efficient. You just throw stuff in there, and then you can keep working. You come back and eat, and all that in between time is stuff you could be doing literally anything else. How could you not like that?
Also, I am surprised that you did. I'm kind of surprised you did Pokemon, but I know we did a lot of tabletop with Yu-Gi-Oh back in
Yes,
the
we
day.
did.
And I am pissed I did not keep my collection with me.
Yeah. A lot of that. I mean, who keeps all their cards? I did, but I'm saying, like, who else?
I mean, before when I left home, I think I sold and I got rid of everything to include my Pokemon card collection.
Ooh, yeah. You see how that's
And-
booming right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can never guess that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm sure some people can, but I mean, I choose Pokemon because it's been around longer in my life, and it's gonna be there after Yu-Gi-Oh is gone. So
25 years of Pokemon. Ooh, this was gonna be I should have added this one to the lightning round because of Pokemon. Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue?
blue. That's the one my mom got me. Yeah, when I was younger. So
I bought the red version for the
you
Game
bought
Boy.
red?
Yeah, I bought Red, and it was Charmander was my first
Oh, you picked
my first
Charmander?
Pokemon. Yep.
Bulbasaur. I picked Bulbasaur. Easy mode. Yeah. Man, time. Where's time go, man? It's crazy.
It does. Chris, this was awesome.
Yes.
How can our audience find you? Plug away. Plug away.
Well, the best place to find me is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/CCAYCOART. That's twitch.tv/CCaycoArt. That's where to find me. That is the best place to find me, in my natural habitat. So
Awesome, Chris. Thank you for coming on the show. This
Oh,
was
no, thanks for
a
having
lot
me,
of
man.
fun.
It's great talking to you. It's been so long.
And once you hit a con up in the DC area, we need to meet up, and we need to get you a decent headshot.
Yeah, yeah. When
We'll work
when
something out
when
when you
when
come over
COVID
here.
allows, when time allows, right? So,
Yes.
thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for watching our video. If you want to learn more about WazaMedia, go to our main channel over here. And if you want to see more podcast episodes, go over here. See you next time.